Do you ever feel like life is speeding past you? Not because it actually is, but because you're obsessing over every single moment. You're thinking about how much time has left and how much time has passed and how many things you have to do within that time frame that eventually the present moment slips right through your fingers and poof, now it's gone. Or maybe you spend your whole day planning things and thinking about how many tasks you're gonna finish throughout that day that by the time you check the clock, the day is done. And now this day is ruined for you. If you relate to me, I am begging you to hear this. You need to seriously forget about the ticking clock. When I was a kid, I had all these dreams and aspirations and goals that I'm sure a lot of people had. I thought that I'm gonna be super rich. I thought I'm gonna have amazing grades. I thought I'm gonna go to a creme de la creme type of university, that I'm gonna get a job at a top tier company, that I'm gonna get married and have kids, and I'm gonna own a house, a condo, an apartment, a garage, everything. I thought I'm gonna have at least $1 million in my bank account, all by my early 20s. And I really thought that is going to be the reality. And the closer I was getting to that age, the more I was spiraling because it felt like I had this bomb attached to me with a countdown. And the older I was getting, the louder this countdown was getting as well. It's funny how our younger versions of ourselves set these goals for us. And in my case, if I wouldn't accomplish all of those things, I would literally explode in my head. I could not imagine not achieving that, and that is why the pressure was so high. And of course, these expectations, they come from your parents. There's pressure from society. There's pressure from your peers. You see people achieving certain things. You see it on social media every day. That eventually, you think that it's all about them, but there is also pressure that's coming directly from you. Even at much smaller. Oh my god, this city is just crazy. I live in Gotham. Even at much smaller frames of time, frames of pockets of time. Let's say a weekend. I used to have this list. Okay, I don't know who am I lying. So I sometimes still have this list that I absolutely have to accomplish by Sunday night. That by the time I go to bed on Friday, I don't have a very good sleep that night because I'm worried about all those things. So, because I didn't get a great night of sleep on Friday night, I'm already waking up stressed and worried about things that I didn't even start doing. So, by the time, let's say, a few hours pass by on Saturday morning, I'm already mourning about the fact that those hours passed by, and the whole vibe is just off for the entire weekend because I'm just stressing about so many things that I'm not even doing anything. Even when I was younger, not a lot of people love school year, so I was extremely excited that we are having a summer break. In my head, I was like, 3 months. Three. I am excited about all the time in my head that I used to make this whole list of things that I wanted to do during my summer. I was excited about it. I wanted to read so many books, watch so many shows, help with my grandma's garden, do some projects for science fair, explore some of my hobbies so I can decide on my major for university. I was extremely pumped. So at the beginning, I used to give myself like 1 or 2 weeks just to relax. I was semi stressed because I was thinking about all the things I want to accomplish, but still, I was like, I deserve it. I have to relax. The third week's come by, and because I was semi stressing, I was like, you know what, let me get 1 more week. What can 1 more week really do? Because I have like 2.5 months. And that week passes by, another week passes by, I'm worried about certain things, and bam, it's July. The whole month has passed. And what did you do? Nothing. But in your head, you were worried about so many things that you couldn't do that you were just in bed worrying about all those things. I was in my head simultaneously worrying about that whole list of things that as a result of I was just in my bed. It was all in my. Can you believe this camera had an audacity to die? These things are way too expensive to die within like 1 or 2 hours after working, okay? That's not cool. So when the July had already came by, I was so stressed about all that time that has passed that I didn't even do anything that June, nor did I actually relax. I would actually benefit way more if I would have just embraced June as my relaxing month and enjoyed the time off. But I did not. When July hit, I was mourning all those days that has passed. And what did it give me? Nothing. Absolutely not one thing. Just negative emotions and probably more anxiety. It's a weird paradox, but thinking about all that time and thinking about tracking every second and accomplishing certain things by certain time is not giving you the advantage that you think it is. You think that thinking about all those things ahead of time makes you ahead of time. But in reality, you're just doing more harm to yourself. In reality, that time is going to pass by, whether you like it, whether you plan it, whether you're obsessing over it. The time is going to just pass by, and you're just left with all of those negative emotions, and it's hard to deal with it. You know, some people are born with it, some people have always had it, some people have ADHD, anxiety, all those things. And I understand it's hard to change the way you think and sometimes change the way you feel. It's not an easy thing. I am begging you to just stop obsessing over time. It's going to pass by regardless. Constantly tracking time gives you the illusion that you're ahead of time when you are not. All that time that already has passed by, you didn't live through it. You just survived the clock. And that is just the reality of it. That it's so hard to accept. Like for me, like my brain, I feel like a lot of us, but let's say for me, my brain knew it. It's not like I didn't know it. I am aware of it, but it's hard to change the way I feel and I think and I see time. It is really hard. Like till this day, like one of the reasons why I'm making this video is really for more selfish reasons. Like I am doing it also for myself, for me to come back to it and to know that, hey, you know this, but you're not acting on it. So this is a reminder for you to stop going crazy over minutes that already have passed by and over things that you want to do in the future and live in the present. Okay? It's not that hard of a concept, but please, I am begging you to live in the moment. And I am telling you that not only does it benefit you, but it also benefit the people around you. Let's do this. Most of us have work. I mean, the lucky ones don't, but most of us have 9 to 5 or some version of that. And I used to have this thing like, oh, I have like 6 hours after my workday to do certain things before I go to bed. So during my workday, I was thinking about all the things I want to do, like make dinner, do dishes, write something, write a plan, work on my project, do a YouTube video or whatever. And I am thinking about all those things that by the time I come home, I'm stressed. I'm fully stressed about all those things I want to accomplish, that I just sit on my bed. I don't know where to start. And I just continue sitting on my bed. So the result is me doing nothing, but also me being stressed. It's not good for any of us. So let's say that you're going to come back after work, you're going to do the dishes, you're not going to think about the dinner. You will just think about doing dishes. And if you don't think about doing dishes, you just think nothing. You just wash the dishes and think about the nature, think about birds, think about whatever, but you don't think about the next thing that you have to do, okay? Those are the very small things that you can change. Not saying it's easy to change, but it will be worth it. Like I'm going to make dinner right after this video, but now I'm not thinking about that dinner. I'm just thinking about this video. I am here with you. with this camera that has been broken. Not really broken, but this camera that's lazy. And I'm not thinking about the dinner, although I'm a little hungry. You get the point. And for larger pockets of time, let's say that we all face the pressure of New Year's. We all have the New Year resolution thing that, okay, you know what, this whole year I'm going to do this, this, and that, and the third. Now, this, where I have to mention that it doesn't mean that you can't have plans, goals, aspirations, any of that. No, you can have dreams, goals, everything, all of that. Obviously, nobody is taking away that from nobody. But the thing is, you have to be a little bit smarter about it. What works for me? I don't have my yearly resolutions anymore. It's not a thing, but what I do have is goals that I want to accomplish within quarters. So every single December or October or November, whatever the time it comes, I have the list of things that I want to accomplish from my Q1 or Q2 and Q3 and Q4. So for example, let's say I'm a filmmaker and I want to have my own script by the end of the year. Scripts are typically very long, maybe 300, 500 pages, right? And if I'm going to have it as my New Year resolution, hold on. Where are you going? You've been engineered really well. And let's say that I'm not doing anything in January and February because I'm just chilling. I have my other things I want to do. By the time it's like spring or even summer, you have this pressure of writing 500 pages of script. And not only you probably will not enjoy writing it, but now you're going to have this deadline that's in your head 24/7. And who knows, like the result is probably going to be affected by that. So that was the old me. The new me, I have quarterly goals. So let's say in the example of that script, I'm going to have certain sections that I want to complete by Q1. Let's say that I want to complete confrontation by Q1. I want to write whatever I have to write. And that's probably going to be like, what, 10, 50, 100 pages. Great. I'm going to accomplish that. It's achievable. I can do that. It's not going to create this pressure of me writing 500 pages. Okay. Instead, in my head, it would be, okay, it's probably only like 10 scenes or one huge dialogue or like one monologue or several scenes attached together. I don't know how it works, okay? And by Q2, I would have, let's say, resolution. I have my conversation. Based on that, I can now write a resolution that's probably going to be another 30 or 40 pages. And it's going to be a little bit more realistic because I already have my existing script of confrontation that I can base for my resolution. You see, it's a little bit more manageable, it's a little bit more realistic, and maybe I'm not explaining it in the best ways, but trust me, it works. I have like 10 or like 15 quarterly pages that I really had over the past 2.5 years, and maybe not all of those came to life, but it was much more manageable. It was much less stressful, and I didn't have that much anxiety by the end of the year because I did not have New Year resolutions. It just wasn't a thing. Even that phrase in itself creates this expectations because the words are so big. New Year resolution. You hear me? Now that we have that out of the way, and now that you know that you still can have goals and dreams and aspirations, it's time to focus on the present. Plans and dreams and aspirations can always be there, and those can be your driving forces. But don't forget that you live in the present. This, now. I know it sounds scary, but now is the time you'll ever be this young. It's hard, I know, but it's truth. Focus on the now. Don't let this big dream, this big goal steal this moment from you. I really think where magic happens in small and achievable tasks. I absolutely hate this camera, but I'm almost done, I promise. I'm not saying what you should do or what you have to do. I'm just sharing with what works for me. That's really the end goal here, that I hope that my experience can at least help somebody, because I think I've had lots of anxiety in general over the past few years. And though I wouldn't say that everything has worked for the best for me, certain things have helped me, things that I've shared with you, but the quarterly goals, about setting achievable smaller goals, I think that's where the real magic is. Focus on what you can do right now, today. That's it. You are not behind. You are not even ahead. You're just living. And I promise you, once you start putting some efforts, your life will start feeling slower. And that's not a bad thing. That's it. Just live. Cheers.